Okay, guys, welcome to the food call. Food, your friend or enemy. My name's Amy Shine, and I'm an Access certified facilitator and a lover of food, and also created so much crazy in my head um, with this topic. And so, where do I start? Okay, so basically, food is like we just spoke about before we started the recording. Like, food is something that's around us all the time. Like every day, a lot of our activities revolve around food, and about what food we should eat, what food we shouldn't eat, when we should eat, and we're just surrounded by it. Even all our social activities, a lot of them are associated with food. You know, if you're in a relationship, a lot of things you can do could be based on food. So it's an area that a lot of people have a lot of points of views around, and there's a lot of different opinions and advice. And you know, this right now, I feel like we're kind of inundated with information about food and points of views and judgments around what's good, what's bad, what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, you know, all the different types of diets, paleo, keto, gluten-free, dairy-free, wheat-free, vegan, all these different ways of eating. And it's funny, I just Googled the definition of food, and what came up was food is any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink, or that plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. So basically, food is a substance that should expand your life, your living, and your body. That food is something that should nurture you and create more space for you. But how many of us actually have that relationship with food? And how many of us are actually using food against us as a way to judge us, as a way to determine what's wrong with us, as a way to decide, oh, I have a pain in my stomach. That must be because I had some bread at lunchtime. Or that must be because I'm allergic to dairy and I had butter on my toast. So if we were to look at what food, the original purpose of food, which was to nurture your body, to add energy to your life, to expand your life, to give you more space, and to be orgasmic, are you actually having food be that for you, or are you using food as a way to judge you? So everything that is, and anywhere you are using food to judge you, can we destroy and uncreate it? Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all night shorts, boys, means. So that's a clearing statement from Access Consciousness. And this is one of the tools that I use to take me out of crazy when it comes to food. It's a clearing statement. It's designed to access your insane mind, where you create all these insane points of views, right? So how many insane points of views do we have around food, right? So even just before, like, I came on this call, I have these things I buy in Trader Joe's. They're called crumpets. They're kind of like pancakes, but you toast them, and they're nice with like jam on them. And I was like, oh, do I want a crumpet? And then all I heard in my head was, well, there's wheat in that now, Amy, and like you don't really digest wheat that well, and if you eat that, then later you probably won't feel so good, right? So this is all the crazy points of views that can come in before you even allow yourself to choose a food that would be kind of nurturing for your body. So one of the ways I've started to use the Access Consciousness tools with food and getting ease there is to actually stop in that moment and be like, okay, all the points of views I have here around crumpets, around bread, around wheat, around gluten, around if I eat bread, I won't be able to digest it. All those crazy points of views I know, and all the lies and the judgments I have, I now destroy and uncreate them. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night shorts, boys and meons. And what that does is it starts to clear the space, clear the judgments I have out of the way, so I can actually ask a question and get an awareness around what my body would really like, and not make my choices based on my judgments. Because if I stood there and was like, I want the crumpet, and then I went into all the points of views like, oh, about bread and wheat, and then I went and said, well, F that, I'm going to have the crumpet anyway, right? And then eat the crumpet, and then afterwards create a pain in my belly, and then judge myself for eating the crumpet because I knew it would create the pain in my belly. So your point of view creates your reality. If you have a point of view, if you eat dairy, you're going to get sick. That's what you'll create. If I have a point of view about bread, then I'll create the sickness after I eat it, or I'll create, acne, or I'll create indigestion, or I'll create, what's the other thing called? Gas. Whatever it is you've decided the food will create. Whatever your point of view is about the food, you will create that. Unless you clear the points of views first. So are you willing to actually start getting present with food, and present with the points of views may have around food? And doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go out and eat, dairy every day, or eat bread, or eat whatever it is. It just starts to give you choice. So when I stood there with the crumpet, like a crazy person in my kitchen, I'm with the crumpet. I'm like, okay, I'm going to destroy on all my points of views around the crumpet, around bread, around wheat, around gluten. And I pod and pocked it, like right, wrong, good, bad, pod, pock, all night shorts, boys and yans. And that's a clearing statement, and it may sound crazy, but my points of views are crazy. So I need something to access all those crazy points of views and clear them out of the way. And so then when I cleared it, I stood there and I was like, okay, so body, truth, do you desire to have a crumpet right now? And it was no. It was like, I don't desire it right now, maybe later. And that's what I got. So, but if it's kind of like, you think about it, like, if when you tell a child they can't have like sweets or candy or chocolate or whatever, like if you tell a child they don't want they can't have the chocolate, they want the chocolate. So how much are you doing that to yourself with food? How much are you telling yourself, you can't have dairy, you can't have ice cream, you can't have chocolate, you can't have, French fries, you can't have bread, you can't have meat, you can't have whatever. Whenever you tell your body you can't have something, it's going to be like that little 3-year-old child going, F you, now I want it. And now I want it all the time. Whereas if you are willing to allow the child to have the chocolate, at least give your the child the choice of having it, then the child might not want it at all. It's the same thing for you and your body. So when it was like, I saw the crumpet, I was like, oh, I want a crumpet. And I was like, and all the points of views came in. And then when I was like, okay, let me clear the points of views, and then right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all night shorts, boys and yans, and then ask a question. So true body, do you desire this right now? And it was like, no, maybe later. And then I went to the fridge and like, I had no jam. So I was like, oh, okay, like it's kind of crap. I kind of didn't like a crumpet without jam is like kind of, whatever. It's not as good. So then like I found like this almond peanut butter spread, and I was like, okay, let me try that. So I was making one for my husband. So I put it on and I gave it to him, and he had a bit of it. And then, and at this stage I had already asked my body if it wanted it, and it said no, that maybe later it would want it. So I was like, okay, fine. So that's me being present with my body. So I gave it to my husband, and he had whatever he ate. And then I took the plate back from him, and he had a little piece left, and I tried it. And I ate it, and I was like, oh, this really sucks without the jam. Like the almond peanut butter spread doesn't go well with it, So I was like, okay, so how aware was my body that it didn't want it, or there was something missing in it for me? Or maybe just go to the shop and get the jam and have it later if you still desire it. But if I was not willing to clear the points of views, I would almost like go against myself, how do I explain it? It's almost like, again, like the child, like you can't have it, so now I want it. But really, I don't really desire it at all. I just want it because my head tells me I can't have it. So how many points of views do you have around food? Like how many judgments do you have that stops you from having choice with food? Oh, so everything that is, can we destroy and upgrade it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on shorts, boys, means. So if you were willing to see food as something that actually nurtured your body and could give you more space, what food choices would you then make? You know, like if you didn't have the judgment of what's good and what's bad, and you actually just asked body, like, what food can we choose today? What food can we choose right now that would actually give us more space? And that goes against what everyone does in this reality. Because what most people do in this reality with food is they use it to cut off their awareness. And they use it to fill themselves up, as if filling yourself up is going to give you more energy. So how much are we trained, and how much are we entrained to use food to actually numb us and dumb us down and kill our energy and kill our body, rather than using food as a source of energy and something that could actually nurture you and nurture your creations and nurture your body and give you more space and add energy to your life. And that is going to require presence. So one of the main things with food is, if you want to start changing your relationship with food, and for me too, it's like, am I willing to be totally present with me and my body and food? And am I willing to actually start using the tools that I know, like the clearing statement? And if you don't know what the clearing statement, and you're watching this on YouTube or in the future or whatever, you can just go to www.theclearingstatement.com and I'll give you some more information. But using the clearing statement helps me because it clears the points of views that are in the way, and then I can start looking at, okay, what do I really desire? What does my body really desire? And like, how many of you get up in the morning and you actually are not hungry? You don't desire food. But your point of view may be, well, you know, I really need to eat because it's morning time and breakfast is the best meal of the day, or supposed to be. Or it's morning time, and if I don't eat now, then I'm not going to eat for another hour or two. And then by the time it gets to 12, I'm going to be so hungry. Right? How many of you eat for later? Like eating for later. Like if I need to eat now to fill me up for the day. Rather than maybe asking your body, like, hey body, like, okay, you know, you can start to communicate with your body, and your body will let you know, like, if you're like, okay, body, we're going to be leaving the house at 9 o'clock. And I get that when you get up at 8 or something, you're not hungry, that maybe you only want tea or juice or something. So, and we're going to be gone for a couple of hours working with clients. So what food can we bring with us that would nurture us throughout the day? And you can even start doing that when you go shopping. Like if you go to a shopping, or to do your grocery shopping or whatever, you can start asking your body, like, what food it requires for the week. And ask your body to show you, like, what food will nurture us for the week if you're planning ahead, you know? Or if you're like, okay, I'm going to be like working a lot out of home, and I'm going to be, I don't know, like sometimes I'm like, I have a lot of back-to-back clients. So I'll ask my body, like, what food can I bring with me that will nurture me throughout my sessions? So you can start asking your body to contribute to that. Now, Sue said, can you talk about using food in place of something else? Like, I use food if I'm bored, or sometimes I use food if I'm not choosing something else. Yeah. So what are you avoiding with the food that you are choosing? Everything that is. Can we destroy and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on shorts, boys, means. So how many of us use food to avoid our awareness? So what intensity of awareness are you avoiding with the hunger you are choosing? So every time you're like, oh, I want to eat something, you know, maybe stop and ask, is there awareness I'm avoiding here? And how many of you are using food as, how many of you are using, like, so I'll just give you an example. Like last night, oh wait 1 second, Sue. It's like, I am hungry for something else. Yeah, so what are you truly hungry for? What are you?
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, cool.
No, so you can't talk. This is no talking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm hungry to talk. So
Oh my
that's so
God,
true,
that's
right?
so true.
So that's what I get, is that like when something is there to be created, or I require to add something to a creation or something, I'll avoid it and I'll go, here, I'll just have something to eat there.
Yeah,
Or
so
I'll use food as a filler. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll use the food as a filler to fill the gap of where I could actually be choosing something else. So I'm avoiding choosing whatever that is to add to my life. And
yeah,
it's about stepping beyond, it's about stepping into that place. And it's like, rather than do that, maybe like the uncomfortable or maybe something out of my norm, then I'll go to something that I know well, which is like go and use food.
yeah. So how much does the food dumb you down?
A lot,
And how much does the food cut off your awareness?
a lot.
Oh, and how much does the food kill your creativity?
Oh, huge fucking amounts. Can I
And
say
how, yeah, you can curse. And
that?
how much does the food kill your orgasmic energy, which is your creative energy?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So how much are we all using food to kill our energy, kill our body, kill our creativity, kill our creations, kill our orgasm,
Yes,
everything that is, can we destroy and create it?
yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on our shirts, boys and beyonds. Because you ever notice those days, and you've talked to me before, Sue, about it, like where you're like back to back with clients, and like maybe you have a Zoom with someone and you're creating a class, and then you're posting, and then you've clients, and then you're doing all these things, and you don't get hungry.
No,
Like you go
never.
hours and hours and hours without eating.
Totally.
And you even said to me, like, your body just wants water, it wants liquids, it wants fluids, it
Yeah.
wants maybe a small bit of sugar, a small bit of salt. So how much when you're being you, are you so connected to your body that you know what's required, and you don't require food to dumb you down or numb you down or cut off your awareness? You're actually using maybe salt, sugar, water to support you and nurture you and expand your creations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
And
so
I
how much
just
of,
became
and
aware of
yeah,
something as you just said it, because I remember as a child, if I ever wanted to go somewhere or if I ever wanted to stay out late, you
yeah.
know, play, I was given food as the coaxing to stay in.
Oh, wow.
So now I've just connected that to when I'm about to step into something, I'll coax myself to not step into it, to use food.
Wow. So how much were we all manipulated with food as kids?
I was totally manipulated with
Yeah.
food from the time I was born.
So how much, when you wanted something your mother didn't want to give it to you, did she try and manipulate you instead with food?
Always chips.
Yeah.
She always gave me chips.
Go to the chipper. In Ireland, that's French fries, guys. American thing
We do
called.
the homemade
Yeah.
ones. Yeah,
You go
I
to the
remember it.
chipper. In America, you go to McDonald's.
And I remember it, and it was that coaxing, and I still hear it. It's so amazing because I still hear that voice, and that voice is like, "Oh, should just have something to eat," and it's like it'll comfort that place of avoiding going into that place of new, that place of something different, something new, and it's like, just stay back here, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so how much are you using food to keep yourself comfortable?
100%.
Yeah, all of us, right, wrong, good, bad, hot pot, corner shirts, boys, and meands. So, and does it really make you comfortable?
Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable now.
Uncomfortable, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
even before the call, I knew the call was coming up, and I was like, there was a part of me was going, oh, don't do it. And then there was like, oh, I'll just have something to eat. So I did have something to eat, but it was like I was like a quarter way through the food, and I was like, I don't even want this.
yeah. And that's presence, like. So how
Yeah.
much are you already being really present with food? So everywhere you're not acknowledging, everywhere all of us aren't acknowledging where we are present, can we just try and create it? All right, we're in good, bad, pop up on our shows, boys, beyonds. And what if we just started acknowledging, okay, how present we can be with food, and then asking for more of that? So that's what I'm asking for. Like, I have a certain awareness with food, which I know you do too, Sue. Like, you're a body worker. You hear your body a lot, and you know your body, what your body asks for. So when you have that, your body just tells you, like, I want the pineapple, I want the tea, I'm done with that. But like, are you willing to have more and more and more and more presence with your body and with food? And so you do hear it when it says, I don't want it. Like, or you get halfway through the meal and it's like, I'm done, you know? And trusting that as well. Like, so, yeah, so how many of us were told that we needed to finish everything on our plate, you know? Or if you order something in a restaurant and you take 2 bites and it's not really what your body wants, then you need to eat it or you know, finish it because you're going to pay for it. You have to pay for it. You know, like, how much was food used growing up as a manipulation? How many lies have we bought around food? Like, you know, that lie of you have to finish everything on your plate because there's starving children in Africa. Like, how is me stuffing my body going to help the children in Africa? You know, like, how many lies are we told about food? That you need to eat 3 times a day, that you need to eat a good breakfast, that you need to eat lunch, that you need to get all your vitamins, that if you're not getting your vitamins, you need to take a supplement, that, you know, you need to drink a certain amount of water, that, you know, you shouldn't drink sparkling water, you shouldn't drink soda. Like, what if you were willing to actually look at all those and go, okay, they're all lies. They're all just interesting points of view. So this is a call, like a beginning call. So I'll introduce people to some of the tools we use. Interesting point of view, right? Interesting point of view, I have this point of view, is an amazing tool, you know? And like, it's basically, it takes you out of the points of views and the judgments you have. So when you find yourself going to eat and halfway through, you're like, I don't want to eat anymore, I'm done. And then feeling like, oh, well, I just ordered this in a restaurant, I need to finish it because I'm paying for it. That's where you start to go, okay, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view, I need to finish it because I'm paying for it. And just keep using interesting point of view, like when you find yourself with the points of views around food, like interesting point of view about sugar, interesting point of view, I have this point of view about alcohol, interesting point of view, I have the point of view, if I eat bread, this is going to happen. Whatever your points of views are, and it'll start unraveling them so you can have choice. And when you get to the place where you start to have choice, you may find you don't require that much food. You may find that you don't even like the foods that you really thought you like that much. You know, you may find yourself choosing different types of food, or you may find there might be days where you don't want to eat food at all. So even that, does that ever come up where you get up and you're like, I don't like, feel like, you just don't feel like eating? Maybe you feel like having a day where you just drink water and lemon for the day, or you just drink tea, or you just drink herbal teas. But your head is like, but no, you have to eat. You have to eat because if you don't eat, you have no energy. But is it really true? Or is that one of the lies that we've bought? So, you know, having no point of view around food doesn't mean your body's never going to eat. It doesn't mean your body is, you know, not going to require a cleanse or doesn't want supplements. But if you have no point of view, then you'll hear your body clearer. You'll hear your body when it, like for ages last year, my body was saying to me, I want a break from sugar. And it was also saying it wanted a cleanse. But I had the point of view, but I'm already really healthy. And, you know, I already do all these clearings. And I had all these points of views in the way that wouldn't allow myself to choose that. And it got to a point where my skin started breaking out. And I had to start listening to my body. And then I did just like a couple of weeks of whatever my body was asking for. It was asking for no bread for a while, and then it was asking for no sugar for a while. It asked for no alcohol for a while. And when I did that and I honored that, my skin cleared up. And then I realized it wasn't that I'm allergic to bread. It wasn't that I'm allergic to alcohol. It wasn't allergic to any of that stuff. It's just my body was asking for certain things. But because I had the points of views in the way, I wouldn't allow myself to receive the awareness. Because what if you know, when people say, oh, I'm doing this like 15-day master cleanse, right? What if you were just willing to be in question every day? Like maybe the cleanse is just for a day, or maybe it's 2 days your body wants water and lemon, or maybe it's, you know, it wants juices just for a day. Like if you're starting to receive the awareness of what your body had, your body can create so much more with you, you know? And rather than coming to conclusion like, you know, oh, I have to stay on this thing now. Or, you know, like so many people are saying, oh, I'm gluten-free. Well, maybe you're not gluten free. Maybe, or I'm gluten intolerant or whatever. Maybe your body has preferences. Like my body doesn't really like the taste of cream. And it's not something my body really likes, but I don't have a point of view that I can never have ice cream. Like I do prefer, I have a preference for sorbets, and but I like there's sometimes where there may be certain places in the world where I go, like when me and Sue went to Italy years ago, and the gelato there was like amazing. It was so gorgeous. And it was different, So like if you're not willing to come to a point of view or a conclusion, then you can give your body choice. Like if rather than saying I'm vegan, what if you said like, oh, today I'm choosing not to have meat. Maybe tomorrow I'll choose meat. Like people say to me all the time, oh, you're a vegetarian? I'm like, no, I actually like meat sometimes. Like, once a week or once every couple of weeks, I'm like, I want a burger, and I'll have a burger and it'll be so good. But I do like a lot of vegetables. But also I don't have a point of view that vegetables are good. I went through like, there's a couple of days where my body was like vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. And I would do this whole medley of vegetables. And then like on the fourth day, because I said that for like 3 days, on the fourth day, I just didn't even ask, and I went and made the vegetables and I started eating them, and I was like, this is disgusting. This is horrible. I don't want this right now. And so I just didn't eat them. And then I realized, oh, my body doesn't even want anything right now. It just wants fluids. So if you didn't have the point of view of what's good, like what's healthy, like the vegetables are healthy, the fruit is healthy, or what's bad, you would allow your body to choose like a child would, like Sue talked about when she was younger, like you would just run into the house and get what you want and run out again. Well, she didn't talk about that, but she was kind of talking about being outside playing, like how much when you were a child, you would play all day and you wouldn't even get hungry. Maybe you'd run in and your mom would give you like a little snack. So where have we shut off our awareness with our bodies and with food and with eating? And like Sue talked about, where are we using food to kill our body, kill our energy, kill our creativity, and as a way to judge ourselves, right? So it's like, oh, I just ate a steak, now I feel really sick. Rather than, what awareness is my body giving me? Like last night, I had a couple of like chocolate, I like dark chocolate blueberries. I didn't really want them. I just had a couple and I was like, okay, I don't even want this. And then I was lying on the couch watching Netflix, and my husband comes home kind of late. And about 10 minutes before he came home, I started to feel like pain in my stomach, like nausea. And so I started to feel nausea, and I went into, oh, is that straight away, right? Automatic responses. Oh, what did I eat? So pain in my stomach, nausea, what did I eat? And then I went, okay, Amy, destroy and uncreate all that, all the points of views I have that I have a pain, that it's because of the food, the pain in my belly is because of food, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all my shirts, boys and yans. And then I asked, okay, body, what awareness are you giving me here? And what awareness am I avoiding with the pain in my belly that I'm blaming on the food? So how much am I distracting myself here from the awareness that my body is giving me? So I get nausea and then I go to the food, so I never really get the awareness of what's really going on. And I just let that question linger. And then my husband came home, and the minute he came in the door, he goes, I got a pain in my belly. I was like, oh my God, in my head, how aware are you? How aware was I of his stomach before he came in the door? Right? So how much do we use food as a way to blame something that's going on in our body, rather than asking our body, what awareness are you giving me? So how much do you jump to, oh, I got an itch, oh, it's candida, oh, I got like this, I got acne, oh, that's because I had dairy yesterday, rather than asking your body, what awareness are you giving me? And how much when we were children, for everything that went on with our body, how much did our parents and our family and our teachers use food as the reason and justification for what was going on, rather than asking us a question? Like if you had said, I have a pain in my belly, ma'am, she'd be like, it's because you had too much sugar. Right? Rather than, okay, what are you aware of? What information is your body giving you? She's laughing. Because your body is a sensory organ. Like, it's a sensory organ picking up on information all around you. Like, my body was picking up on my husband's body last night. And then he came home and I ran energy on his belly. You know? And then it eased off in my belly. But the points of views, the judgments, they're just going to keep you on the hamster wheel. So would you be willing to start using these tools more and more? If you're using them already, great. If you're first time hearing them, start using them. Start asking to have presence with food and presence with your body, and be aware of the points of views as they come up, and start clearing them, and then asking your body what it requires, what it desires, what's going to nurture you, what's going to create more space. And when you find yourself wanting to go to eat, you know, when it's just a numbing out, what awareness am I avoiding? And how much am I trying to kill my energy with food? So how many people in this reality try to kill their bodies with food? A lot, right? So what if we could all start to make different choices? So what food would create more space for me here? And does my body even desire food? And what awareness am I avoiding with the food I'm choosing? Whew. Any questions? You want to try? Yeah, Marina?
Yep, I'm almost done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you fried me at the first, I think, 2 seconds.
It's meant to be an intro.
Да, я говорю о том, что я уже готова, потому что Эми меня поджарила в первые секунды. And we have a question from Russian chat.
Yeah.
Есть вопрос с российского чата, он звучит так: а как не толстеть от еды? So, how to eat and don't get abuse, like fat. Don't become fat. So how to eat and don't become fat.
Well, first you got to look at your points of views with that. So if you have a point of view, if I eat this, I'm going to get fat, then that's what you create. So you're going to have to start clearing the points of views first. Like, if you have a point of view, you know, if I eat that cake, it's going to make me fat, then that's what you'll create. So either clear the points of views so you can have choice, or don't eat the cake. And there's so much more to this, Marina, and you know, we'll get into more when we do the food series. So this is an intro to looking at food and having more presence with it and having more choice. And we're going to do a 5-week call series where we'll delve a lot deeper into all of this with food, having presence with food. We're going to look at, you know, food and the comfort, like Sue talked about, looking at the family and like all the points of views we grew up around in the family with food, and food, you know, when we're going to look at a lot more as well at where we're using food to kill our orgasmic energy, to kill our creativity, and how we can actually use food to have more orgasmic energy, more creativity, to nurture our bodies. We will dive into it in more detail in the 5-week series. But for now, I would start clearing the points of views you have with food before you even choose to eat them. Because you can have a point of view like, if I eat this, it'll make me sick, or if I eat this, it's too much sugar, it'll make me fat. And that's what you'll create unless you clear the point of view first. So either clear the point of view and then choose, or keep the point of view and don't have it. But this is like, there's a lot of layers to this. So we'll go into more in the 5-week series. If you want to jump on that, you're welcome. I'll send out information in the follow-up email. I'm trying to keep this call to 45 minutes so people will watch it later. But has anyone else got a question?
And
yeah.
One more question from Russian chat. У нас есть еще один вопрос с русского чата. Мне нравится кофе, телу нравится, а вот почкам не очень, видимо, как быть? So the question is like, I like coffee, body likes coffee, but it looks like kidneys.
It looks like what?
Kidney.
Kidney?
Kidney. Wait a second. It's like wait a second.
The color of coffee looks like your kidney.
Kidney, like KIDNEY,
Okay.
like organ which digest liquid, let's
Okay.
call it so. And it looks like these organs don't like coffee. So I think that's what you can do with it?
So that's a conclusion.
Это заключение.
That's not a question.
Это не вопрос.
So I like coffee, but coffee is bad for my kidney.
Кофе, но кофе плохо для моих почек. Это заключение.
So ask, if you, again, it's back to clearing it.
Это опять же про чаще выражение.
I'm going to mute you for a second and then. Sorry. Okay. So again, all the points of views I have around coffee and who does that belong to? Whose point of view is it that coffee is bad for your kidneys? So this is what I talked about at the start. There's so many points of views around all different things, like alcohol is bad for your liver, coffee is bad for your kidneys, bread is bad for your digestive system, sugar is bad for your whatever, sugar is the devil. These are all points of views. Like, are they really true? Like they come up with new points of views all the time. Like years ago, bread was like the best thing ever, my mother grew up on bread morning, lunch and dinner, and she's perfectly healthy, flying, doesn't have any digestive issues, so you got to look at like what's fashionable at the moment. Like, is it fashionable at the moment to not eat bread and not drink coffee and only drink herbal? And so if you're willing to again be present and be like, okay, all the points of views I've bought here about coffee, destroy and uncreate it. And start asking your body, from choice. Again, back to the child. If you tell your body it can't have coffee because it's bad, it's going to want it. If you give your body choice, it will let you know when it requires it. And it will let you know when it requires it because it adds to your life. I don't drink coffee, but sometimes I've tasted it was like a soya latte thing. And sometimes when I'm hosting classes, I really love like a soya latte in the morning. It's really nice. I don't have a point of view that it's bad. I allow myself to choose it. When my body desires coffee, it will let me know I require caffeine. And for me, I like caffeine in Earl Grey tea. Like I like it through tea. So my body will let me know caffeine. And then other times it'll be like, I don't want caffeine, I want herbal. So if you're willing to let go of all the points of views, your body will let you know when it requires it and when it's a contribution to you. Are you willing to trust your body? Are you willing to trust that your body knows more than any expert, any magazine, any Google search that tells you, any nutritional expert? Like your body will let you know what it requires and when it requires it if you can trust it and if you're willing to not have a point of view. So what if sometimes the coffee was a contribution to your body? And what if sometimes it wasn't? Same thing with alcohol. Sometimes my body really likes alcohol and sometimes it doesn't want it at all. If you're willing to be present with your body, it will let you know. If you're drinking the coffee and it's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it's like waking up every cell in your body and it's like so orgasmic, then that's a contribution to you. If you're drinking the coffee and you're just like drinking it and it's a habit, you've decided you like coffee every day and you're not even tasting it, then you're probably not present and it's probably not being a contribution then. So again, back to the presence. Be present with your food and whatever you're eating or choosing and be aware. Is it lighting you up? Is it turning your molecules on? That's when you know it's been a contribution. And back to the original definition of food, which is any nutritious substance that people or animals eat or drink or that plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. Right? So what if you could expand on that and be like asking what food, what drinks can actually create more space for me, my body today? So truth, if I have this coffee right now, will it create more space for me in my body? Okay, Marina? Okay, cool. Any last questions before we sign off? No? So just play with those. I mean, play with the presence with the food, clearing the points of views, and then asking the question. You always want to clear the points of views first before you ask the question. Because if you don't clear the points of views and you ask your body what it requires, you may be choosing from your points of views and your judgments, not having choice. Okay? So play with that. If you have any questions, message me. We do have the 5-week series coming up starting April the 29th. It is going to be translated into Russian. I'll send out more details with the replay of this. And thanks for coming on. All right, guys. Have fun.
Thanks a million, Amy. Thanks, love.
Thank you
Bye,
so
love.
much, Amy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.